They won. Good job with
Good
that,
morning,
fellas.
good morning on a Friday, January 19th. Good morning. We're live here in Results 1. And it's been a busy few days. Well, for me, you guys only join in whenever you get a push notification or if you're looking for this stream. We have been go, and it's amazing to still be able to do the streams and everything else we're doing. We're really putting together. My team would not be able to do anything I do without the people you never see. Tara, Jeff, Tyler, our entire web team. There's so many people that operate behind the scenes to make sure you get what we produce every single day. You're going to be, I saw the traffic stopping behind me. I was like, what the heck is going on? Going to be putting together an amazing racing piece on what it takes to keep Daytona races safe, partnering with IMSA, and IMSA has really opened the doors for us to really show you what it takes and get an idea of what it takes to really mitigate issues. Obviously, racing is dangerous. A lot of sports are dangerous. Things can happen and will, but you got to be ready for it. And this team really showing me what they're capable of, and it's amazing. And that's what I'll be doing after our stream today. But basics today, we're talking about, well, excuse you, computer. We're talking about when you cannot pass, or when you let's reword that because my English sucks. When you can pass and when you cannot pass. And we'll talk a little bit about what the lines mean in the roadway. Let me take my man bag off. It kind of looks pretty ridiculous while I'm talking to you guys. So let's go over the boring stuff. Actual meanings of what the markings in our roadway physically mean, right? So let's go over 7 different lines that you will see out on the roadway. First one is one that we see a lot that I don't think a lot of people understand what the meaning of it is. And we're talking about those single solid white lines. So you see them sometimes in curves in a roadway when there's multiple lanes of travel. And you will always see them when you get a little closer to an intersection. They can become single solid strip of white line. And what does this mean? It means you are allowed to travel in the same direction on both sides of this line, but you do not cross the line unless you must do so to avoid a hazard. A slow car is not a hazard, right? Also used to discourage lane changes near an intersection. Meaning, and we're going to drive a little bit so we can hopefully see some of this stuff, but single solid white line, they want you to, it's never long term, it's always a temporary, very short distance, and you don't want to change lanes in there unless obviously there's an obstruction in the road. But someone doing the speed limit just because you want to go faster would not be a hazard, so you'd want to maintain your lane. Center turn lanes, I like to call these left continuous turn lanes. We see the left arrows in them all the time, double kind of. Drivers from either direction may use that center lane for left turns. You may not use the center lane for passing. So this center turn lane, it sometimes divides a roadway, 2 lanes left, 2 lanes right. That center lane is for you to come in and pull into a driveway or a private driveway. It is not used to pass the same traffic that you're with. Single broken white lines. You may cross this line to change lanes when it is safe to do so. These are our everyday hashed mark white lines that we see in our travel lanes. They designate a lane. You are allowed to maneuver in and out there as you see fit, as long as it is done safely. Exclusive bike lanes. We've talked a lot about bike lanes, always located on the right side of the roadway. And it's going to be separated by a solid white line that separates the bike lane from the motor vehicle lane. Solid white line, we're not supposed to pass it unless a hazard comes in. Bike lanes may also be marked with bike lane signals or symbols. So you may see a drawing in that travel lane indicating it. But even if you don't, and there's a white lane, then a large gap, the lane's not for you. That's going to be for that bicycle lane. Stop line at a crosswalk. These are our stop bars, these big painted bars out right before you approach a crosswalk. And these stop bars show you where you must stop for a stop sign or a red light. you should stop your vehicle before any part of it crosses the stop line. No part of your vehicle should be in the crosswalk when you stop, and you must always yield right away to pedestrians. Easy stuff, right? And then the single broken yellow line. Something to think about here. Yellow will always be on the left side of your vehicle. White will always be on the right side, unless you're in multi-lanes. So if you see yellow on your left side, that means you are in the most furthest left portion of the roadway, and anything on the opposite side of that yellow is going to be opposite or opposing traffic out there. So you want to stay to the right of the yellow line. If it is broken, similar to the white dashed line, you can cross this line if you are passing a vehicle in front of you, and then the complete opposite of that would be a double solid yellow. Remember, yellow on the left, dashed means you can pass, double yellow means you cannot. Moving vehicles in either direction must not cross these lines unless turning left when it is safe to do so. Turning left is not passing. Turning left means I'm in a no passing zone. There's a driveway up ahead that is within this no passing zone. I am allowed to cross that double yellow if I'm attempting to make a left turn, not a left pass. Hope we're understanding that a little bit. So what I want to do is drive around, see what we see here. We're currently up in the Heathrow Lake Mary area, trying to get as far east as I can, close to Volusia, so that we can be on time to our shoot today. So let's go drive around a little bit, see what zones we can see, and then talk about them based off of what we just educated ourselves. So we talked about no passing zone, double yellow, passing zone, broken yellow, single. We've talked about exclusive bike lanes. We talked about single broken white line, center turn lanes, and single solid white lines. So I want to actually drive around over here in a gas station that I've always seen, but I never knew it was real. I know, weird question, but if you knew where I was at, you'd understand, or comment. Sorry. All right, let's go check this stuff out. And we're going to go north here on International Parkway from Lake Mary Boulevard. It's interesting because it has a nice curvature out here. So here, curve in the roadway, 25 mile an hour speed zone. I've got the double yellow, excuse me, there is no double yellow. I have dashed white lines. This is what we see every single day when we're driving. All right? You'll always see a solid white to the far right, meaning that is the right side of the roadway. And then if we change lanes here, which I will here after I come out the curb, I don't like changing lanes in a curve in a roadway. For some drivers it is difficult. For others it creates blind spots. So I always wait till it straightens up a little bit. So we're in a 35 zone. I want to switch lanes. Turning signal, come on over. You can cross double white. I mean dashed white. We know this stuff. This is basic stuff. On the far left, what do we see? We see a turn lane. We see a solid white separating that turn lane. And then we go into the dash stuff. So there's that yellow line on the far side, on the far left side when we're driving. You'll always see yellow, gold, whatever you want to call it, far left side. You'll always see white, far right side. So this entire portion of International Parkway is a passing zone. So you could go in and out of this if, obviously, you're not exceeding the speed limit. But something to keep in mind is if you're out here and there was no traffic and you're going from the left lane to the right lane, from the right lane to the left lane, and vice versa over and over again, you're going to get someone's attention. It's not normal driving behavior. It's going to stick out. You don't want to be doing stuff like that. Maintain your lane, cruise with traffic, maintain your speed, and always use your turning signal. So if you're joining us this morning, here off of International Parkway, AAA Drive, facing northbound, headed towards 46A. And we're talking about the markings in the road. What exactly do they mean? In the beginning of this stream, we went over the definitions of each and every one, whether it's the dashed white that you see here in the center to our right side, the solid yellow to our left, or even the solid whites that we see sometimes. And we're going to see one of those solid whites coming up here in a second. So according to Florida law, solid white, you may travel in that direction, obviously, but do not cross the line unless you must do so to avoid a hazard. So I preach a lot that people should never change lanes while within or approaching an intersection. It's the last thing someone's thinking. And these white lines kind of support my argument a little bit. A lot of people say, well, the white line says you can. Well, no, it doesn't say you can cross over it. It says you can if there's a hazard. I guess hazard is pretty much up for definition at this point, but that's kind of troublesome. But like here, we're approaching this intersection. Watch the center travel lane. It goes solid white. You should not be changing lanes this close to an intersection. Normally that happens within the first 100 feet, and then you're good to go. So we're going to come up over here and head west on 46A so I can show you guys no passing zone. Stay in your lane when changing lanes. Links bus there. Remember, it is a lot of yield to them. Okay. So we're here at Orange Boulevard and H.E. Thomas in the Heathrow area because I wanted to enter this no passing zone. Look at this. Double yellow here the entire time. So this is a no passing zone, meaning normal vehicles. If we're out here and you're traveling and the vehicle in front of you is a little slow, you are not authorized to pass them. It is not some, just because they're going a little slower. No. This is a residential area, and things can happen. So double yellow, no passing. But can I make a left if there was a driveway there? Yeah, I could do that. When can I pass in a no passing zone? Something to think about here, right? So let's see what the law says, and we'll talk about it. So you see, this is all residential, and this is also the area where we talked about that center turn lane, that center continuous turn lane. You can see it right here. What does it also have next to it? It has solid yellows on both sides, sometimes double, sometimes single. This is not an area for you to pull into and pass other vehicles. This is a lane for you to change your direction of travel, but not for you to pass, say, a vehicle in front of you. Say that Jeep Commander in front of us was going slow. Now, have I seen it? You dang straight I've seen it. And it appears egregious when it's done, because the markings on the road are so defined that when someone goes out there, it is considered almost aggressive. So you don't want to do that. Also, what happens if someone else from the opposite direction is pulling into that center turn lane? We're going to have a bad day, so we don't want to do any of that. Passing here at Wilson Elementary School, give you a little reference of where we're at. You can see a lot of school traffic out here. School buses are hitting the road. I've seen some kids walking on the sidewalk. So when we are passing, a big thing is passing is a dangerous action. Man, my sensors here are good. In results 1, picking up that car. So it kind of distracted me a little bit. So you got to be really careful. Dotted yellow. Can I turn there? Yes, I can. All right, we're going to continue up this way just a little bit so we can see what else is going on. We pretty much hit what I wanted to show you, but we're going to pull over right quick because I do want to talk about briefly, when are you allowed to pass in a no passing zone? Are there times when it's permitted? So let's make this complete stop on red, and we're clear. Let's go. So here's another one. Look to the right. You see that double white? This is indicating a bicycle lane. So could I, if I wanted to, go into that lane? Absolutely not. No. We're not driving a bike. I'm driving this big truck. There's no reason for me to be there. Now, you see how this brakes here? I can start to squeeze into there, and then if I wanted to pull over to the side and create space. Why? Because it's hashed, it's broken, it's not solid. Okay, another example here. See the double yellow? Can I make a left over that double yellow into this business? Yes, I can, as long as I do it safely. I can cross it into a private business. But I would not be allowed to do that if, for whatever reason, I was attempting to pass traffic. It is a no passing zone, so therefore would not be permitted. We make a stop here, turning signal on, and let's get back out to the roadway. So the markings on our roadways are extremely important because they're telling us what we can and can't do. It is a language that we must have some knowledge of, or things happen, crashes happen. You get yourself a ticket and then call me and complain about it that you didn't know that this meant that. When you receive your driver's license, hear me out. Anybody right now who has a driver's license, under Florida law, it is assumed you are familiar with all traffic laws. Did you hear that? It is assumed you speak the traffic language. Why would we assume that? Because you passed the test. Because technically, you, as a responsible driver, I say responsible driver, should have proactive knowledge of what's going on our roadways. Now, you're probably going, are you kidding me? No, I'm not. But I know that we all don't know. Heck, I don't know everything, even though I study this mess. There are changes constantly. There are times when certain things occur to where I've got to be like, I've got a question about that. Or I'll even reach out to a buddy and be like, hey, let me bounce this off you. The statute says this, but the crash happened like this. The roadway looks like this. So, but we do need a base level of understanding of traffic rules in order for us not to crash our flipping cars. We're on International Parkway southbound here at Wayside Drive, just north of, or just west of Sanford. You can see solid white here on the side. So if I was going over this line and over this line, it'd be a reason for a traffic stop. I'm not maintaining my lane. Technically, I shouldn't be over there. That vehicle that just pulled out technically should have made a right into the right travel lane and then moved over into the left travel lane, but they didn't do that. The hashed white lines there in the center are indicators that we have two separate travel lanes and you are allowed to cross those. If it was a double yellow in the center, then obviously that separates two different directions of traffic and you're not allowed to pass. We have a designated bike lane to our right-hand side, so technically, if I was making a right turn through that bike lane, I would need to make sure that there were no bikes in there and I didn't violate their right-of-way. So many rules when all we're doing is just maintaining a lane. It's all very key. So up here we have a bicycle. I see the bicyclist. Why do I want to stay here? I'm going to scoot over, give them some space. Not required to. They have their lane. There is 3 feet. But why not? Why not take that extra step to be cautious? I'm going to go back over to my right lane. And we're okay. So you saw, I even got nervous there. As I just made my right, I'm sitting here talking about passing. We talked about solid white. I was already starting my turn, my pass. We're okay. No one's going to give you a hard time about it. But the problem is when we come up, zooming up on these intersections, and we're crossing over all these white lines, and we don't care. So be super careful. Also, extra signage as we're approaching here, crosswalk this morning. The line goes white. Why? Because there's a crosswalk, so we don't want to start passing. You got to be extra careful. All right. So now that I'm in this lane, see how solid it is? You want to stay in your lane, right? Drivers are expecting you to do certain things if they have a knowledge of the rules and you don't. So take a look over 316.083. Amazing reading there, put you to bed actually. But a driver or vehicle overtaking another vehicle proceeding in the same direction must give an appropriate signal as provided in 316.156. Must pass to the left thereof of a safe distance and must not again drive to the right side of the roadway until safe to clear an overtaking vehicle. There are so many subsections of this. It is amazing. A lot of different portions of it go into safe distance, passing a bicyclist. Remember, 3 feet minimum distance. So bubble mentality here. So go back, watch this. This was a good little chat. We talked about a few different things about passing, when you can, when you can't, when you should, when you shouldn't, when the law says you can, and when Trooper Steve says, just stay in your lane, guys, because it causes crashes. Educate yourself. Be mindful. Wear your seatbelt. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm headed to Daytona Beach. You guys have an amazing day. Daytona International Speedway for a story that we're going to feature next month. Super excited about it. Love you guys. Have a great day. Drive safely and wear your seatbelt. Oh, and I'll be at the Oviedo Mall tomorrow for the car show if you guys want to come by. Have a good one.